Product Management and Marketing with Accenture Software. Bob leads the Marketing, Product Management and M&A team within Accenture Software. As a part of his role, he vets the software products for inclusion in Accenture's portfolio of products, leads the Product Management Center of Excellence within Accenture, and executes marketing activities for all products in the portfolio. His specialties include executive management and client services, industries such as high technology, financial services, industrial manufacturing, entertainment and media, retail, software, CRM, ERP, personalization, display advertising, and analytics. Bob.
Well, that introduction sounded a lot better when I wrote it a couple weeks ago, but so it goes. So thank you for having me here today. It's a pleasure to be here. When I first was asked to come speak, I was kind of puzzled. Why would this group of entrepreneurs and investors want to talk to some guy from Accenture? But I'd spent some time, actually not only Accenture, but walking a mile in your shoes. I was a software startup guy for a while and thought I could offer some insights on how now in the large company perspective, we could work together with entrepreneurs and small companies like yours, because we actually do that every day now. So let me give you a quick background on who I am. I started out with, it was Andersen Consulting years ago, and we've been in the software business since 1972 as part of initially Arthur Andersen and then Andersen Consulting and now Accenture. So we've had software a long time, and I was one of those early software guys. I left for a while. I got the software bug after having worked with Tom Siebel and helping get that practice going at Accenture. And I joined a small marketing automation company. There were, I think, 4 people there when I joined. I was a VP of services, became the CEO, sold it to Unica. Now IBM owns it. So if you go to the IBM website, the PowerPoints I drew years ago are still alive and well up on the IBM site. Hopefully the product is. And then joined a company called ChoiceStream, another software startup. And we did big data analytics. So if you've ever gone to MTV.com or Zappos Shoes or Tesco Direct and seen people who like this, also like this, people who bought this, also bought this. I was the head of engineering and services. We built all that stuff. Kind of cool stuff for the e-commerce world. And then was looking for something new and talked to my friends in Accenture, and they said, well, we're back in the software business. We'd got out for a while, but we're back, and we're looking for software guys, so can you come on join? And I rejoined back in 2010. And so now I help vet the new software ideas we have. So if we're going to buy a company that's got software, I get a team of folks, and we go see if it's a good software business. We grow a lot of products internally, but they're not all going to be software businesses, so we check those out and see if they could be. And then when they join the portfolio, product management is not a natural thing for Accenture to do. We're kind of a sell one, make one consulting company, and product's different, right? You got to make one and then sell 100. So I help teach that product management methodology to all of our Accenture guys and then execute all the product marketing. If you've been through an airport, that's most of the marketing we do, big signs and logos and stuff and golf tournaments, but we got to do direct marketing, so we do that in Accenture Software. So that's my background and why I've been both a startup guy, entrepreneur, and now a big corporate guy. A little bit background on Accenture. I mean, we're a pretty big place. Top 4,000 companies in the about 17 industries that we pursue. There's 280,000 people, I think, in the company. We got about 120,000 some odd people. I mean, here in India, it's a big place. When I started, it was 4,000. Now it's 280,000. So it's gotten a little bigger since you basically knew everybody you worked with when I joined. Within Accenture Software, that's a subunit we have. It's about 5 years old. And we have 9 software businesses that we run like little independent companies. And their job is to go build deep industry vertical software that supports the industries we serve. And I'll show you some of those. We probably got about 40 or so products, about 4,000 people, and they are just software guys. And we've retitled them like software guys. So they've got names like pre-sales and product management and product marketing. They don't have consultants and systems integrators and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's a software business we've put inside Accenture because we want to build software people who are going to build great software products. And then we build it all over the world, about, I think, 9 cities here in India, the Philippines, the U.S., Europe. So we leverage our big global organization to take the best talent in the world and try to build the best software in the world for our clients. So a little bit of background on those units. So here's a couple quickly. So one of our oldest ones is our property and casualty insurance. We go to market and call it Accenture Duck Creek. So if you are Berkshire Hathaway or you are State Farm Insurance, you use our products in order to go process your policies and your claims. We bought a company a year ago called Accenture Mortgage Cadence. It's the leading mortgage processing system for banks in the U.S., the top 1,200 banks that write mortgages for homeowners in the U.S. So that's a pure SaaS business we bought to power our banking business. We bought a company about 10 years ago called Navisys in the life insurance business, and they handle the same thing, policy and claims for life insurance clients. You can see some of the logos there. A new one we started and we grew internally. It's called Accenture Digital Video Services, and what it does, it lets consumers any place, anywhere, through our clients, watch a movie or video or content on their mobile phone, on their iPad, their set-top box, all that stuff, with companies like KPN in the Netherlands, or we'll have a big announcement on a big client deal we should be doing here in India, actually, pretty soon, too. So, big global product for over-the-top TV. Freight and logistics. Today, you may not know it, but while you're flying on the top of the plane, the bottom of the plane is filled with air cargo. So there's only two big boys left. There's like UPS and FedEx. The rest of the cargo on the air, it moves under the seat. So we've got a system actually called Navitaire that sells seats above the floor, and we've got a freight and logistics system that sells cargo below the floor. And now we're doing it for big clients in the ocean business. Consumer goods. If you are Coke or Pepsi or AB InBev, and you want to go very deep into merchandising and figuring out truck routing and how much Coke do I put on the pallet to put on the truck, and how much should I invest in the end cap in your grocery store, or how much shelf space should I pay for, we do that for these big consumer products companies. Human services. There is big software business in government. They're getting tired of paying for custom systems all the time. So we've taken our knowledge capital and we have built software products for the government business. There's two of them. The first one is called Human Services. We help figure out what citizens are eligible for government benefits at the state level. And then there's another one that's called Health Services. There's a big medical processing system in the U.S. called Medicaid. It provides medical care for America's poor, and we build a software product for that. Then the last one is Human Capital Management, another acquisition we did about 10 years ago. It's a company that was called Picasso, and it built an enabler that made SAP Human Resources, their HCM product, work better. So we've got 6 of those businesses we bought, 3 of those businesses we built, and so it's a mix, and they've all joined the Accenture Software family and are all part of us. But like you may wonder, what happens to an entrepreneur and a software vendor when they join a big place like Accenture or IBM or HP? So has everybody seen at one point Raiders of the Lost Ark? You get to the movie, it's like Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones, he's got his baby, the Ark, and it's handed over to the federal government, which could be Accenture or IBM or HP. So let's see what Harrison Ford is worried about when he hands his baby over.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
There goes your product. So there's the risk. It disappears into the giant mouth of and the maw of the Accenture IBM HP warehouse, which is actually what used to happen before we had a software business. We'd hire these software guys, we'd put them into our industry practices, and they say, well, you're no longer pre-sales, we're going to call you a solution architect, and you're no longer a software developer, we're going to call you a senior systems engineer or something. So it just didn't work. So now we've got actual homes for these people, and here's how we take care of them and try to innovate. So there's 3 things, though, when we want to go look at acquiring a business that we evaluate. One is obviously your product. So Duck Creek Policy, for example. We had a great property and casualty claim system, but it was going to take us years to go build a great policy systems for property casualty. So we bought a company called Duck Creek. Those products are put together. Now we've got a complete suite to offer out there. Your people. We grow lots of great skills, but they're not all software industry skills. There's deep domains that are well established in the software business. You guys represent those domains, and we need to go hire those and keep those in the software business for it to be successful. But mostly, what we're looking for is we're buying companies that are small and might be trapped in a certain tier or a certain niche or a certain geography, and together we can take your product and your people and have greater potential for both of us by putting your products into our global sales channel. So your potential can make us both much stronger. And those are three things we look at. I'll explore that a little bit as we go. So what do I mean by your product? So one of the things I do as a product manager, this first thing is we figure out the total available market for our software, which you probably do. We get a list of every single, in this case, property and casualty claims insurance company in the world. And we figured out what the market is, and we'll circle that, and we'll say this is that whole gray triangle over on the left. Well, prior to buying Duck Creek, we had a claim system, which allowed us to handle the top-tier insurance company claims products. So we could only address like Y% of that X billion-dollar market, which is probably a $2 billion market for software out there. But post-acquisition, policy and claims, we can obviously come and now address much more of that, many more tiers, much more scope, and have a greater shot at capturing the market share and bringing more value to many more clients than we could before. So an obvious example. So we can go accelerate our roadmap by years by buying a well-established product company with the product risk is behind it, and the market risk is behind it, and the organizational risk is behind it. So that's one of the obvious things we go do. The second is your people. So we grow a lot of great people organically, and they're represented by the skill sets over here on the blue. So we're very good at writing software. We're very good at selling that stuff all over the world because we operate in all the countries, most of the countries of the world. We can implement and support that software. We have very big contracts we write and small contracts we write for help desk and application maintenance. We can support it. We can make the software actually work. So you see our logo on our advertising is results delivered. That's what we're really about, is making the technology not just sell, but actually work for our clients. And we watch the money. We take care of our people. We're good at the CFO internal enterprise functions. But there are things that the software domain is particularly good at. Like one is product management. Again, Accenture is about sell one and then go make it, and then go sell another one and then go make it. But the product business is about make it first and then go sell it 100 times and get the scale and the high margins of that. Well, product management managers are all about that. We don't grow them organically. We need them to come from the software vendors like you. Product marketing. Our marketing people focused on brand and image, so we can have an image in the senior executive's mind associated very positively with Accenture. But we're not just trying to market to the top 4,000. Take our HCM product, our human capital management product for SAP. SAP has 14,000 human capital management clients or customers. Every one of those is a target for ours. Some much smaller than would ever consider buying any consulting services from Accenture. So we've got a market for just that one product of my 9 products to 14,000 targets out there, and that's all about direct marketing. So we can get that benefit from your skill set. And third is software sales. Again, everybody that grows up in Accenture is about listening to the client, hearing what they want, and building that one time. You know, you have to turn that around when you're in software sales. You basically have to say, here's what I have out of the box. Let me listen for which of those things that work for you, and I will emphasize those and try not to build something custom for you. It's a different sales mindset, plus pre-sales and demo and the technical sales. So those are unique domain skills that we hope to get through the M&A transactions we do from companies like you. And then there's the CEO leadership. Again, we've got terrific leaders in our business that have helped us grow to be $30 billion. But there's a different mindset for software to think about the market and take care of software people and have been an entrepreneur and navigate among smaller clients than many of the Accenture leaders do. So that's a skill set we blend with our leadership. So together we end up having some pretty good business teams. And we take businesses that might be in Europe and we blend them with skills in North America and in India, or skills in North America we acquire and blend them around the world, and we put together these integrated world-class software teams. The third is your potential. So at Accenture, we've always wondered when our model would ultimately run out of gas. So for example, we hire people. We sell those people on an rate times hours basis. We make money, we make margin, and we're now up to 280,000 people. But at some point, we would have to hire everyone in the world, and then there would, of course, be no one to buy our services, and the model would break. So we don't know when that's going to happen, but one of the ways we can keep the model going with higher margins is, again, to build and sell stuff. So if we could sell high-quality software, build it once, sell it 100 times, over and over again, we can go add the high-margin business of software to Accenture's business, such that Accenture growing today will grow more and more profitably with those software products than it would on its own just personnel model. So strategically, it makes a lot of sense for Accenture to add high-quality software in. Plus, we all see the examples that custom code ultimately gets replaced by software. And look at all the things that companies don't do anymore. They don't write a general ledger. They don't write a human resource system. They don't write an ERP. Software has replaced all that. You can name all the examples you want. So we want to have those software systems because at some point the clients are going to stop asking us to build something custom, and we want to have the product that they want to buy instead of asking us to build it. So that'll increase our overall potential together. So let me give you some examples, given all that background, how we innovate when we acquire a company. So there's typically 6 things, and I've called it pressure makes diamonds. It's a catchphrase of a World War II general whose name is now escaping me as I was thinking of it. George Patton. His phrase was, pressure makes diamonds, and he would use it to go put pressure on his troops, pressure on the enemy to perform better. So what we try to do is put together these 6 things. If we can take your people and your ideas and merge them with our people, our clients come up with some pretty creative problems they want to solve, and we need your creativity. And if we can add to that our thought leadership we have in the industry, throw a lot of money at it, because frankly we invest about $1 billion in R&D every year in a variety of different things, and then the scale of our sales and implementation channel, you put all that together, we could come up with something pretty cool. So let me give you some examples of how we've done that. So as background, I'll pull out my iPhone again. This is a product that we innovated together with a business we bought. So we bought 4 years ago a company called CAS, and it's that leading consumer goods system for merchandisers for Coke and Pepsi and InBev and all those guys. And there's an old thing, if you've ever been in a store, you'll see a grocery store, there's lots of product on the shelf. Well, the manufacturers pay the retailers to put that product on the shelf. And the old way of laying out how many 2-liter Coke bottles go on a shelf was they write out this planogram on paper. So they kind of draw a picture of all the shelves and whether they were buying 3 meters or 10 meters or whatever it was and how many shelves high and how much Coke goes here, there, and everywhere. And then a store consultant would travel around their district and they'd pull out their paper planogram and they'd look at the shelf and they'd mainly try to figure out, am I getting the Coke shelf space that I paid for in the right width and the right height and the right products and all that stuff? Because their intent is they want to go into the store manager and provide consulting advice on how to sell more of that product. Okay, so what we came up with is the Accenture digital merchandising system. So what the store consultant does from, say, Coke, he walks into a store, he opens up his iPhone, he points it at the shelf, he clicks the button. It's wirelessly connected. It takes that picture, uploads it to the web, sends it off to our algorithms, which do, in effect, facial recognition of consumer products, which is tough because a picture could be blurry. The image could be turned a little bit. There could be a smudge on it. So we've got management and data scientists that are trying to figure out how to bring the power of facial recognition to Nivea cold cream or beer or whatever it is. Anyways, they figure out what all these products are. They quickly analyze it. If they can't get one, we've got some folks that can visually recognize, the couple % we can't recognize automatically. They download that planogram electronically back to the phone. Within minutes, the store consultant can now walk into the store manager of that local grocery store and have a substantive conversation about adding value and selling more consumer goods. So that's the idea. Pretty cool. But this little digital merchandising idea was kind of this orphan inside the Accenture consulting machine. What it was missing is a way to go put it together with real software professionals, like I described earlier, that we got when we acquired CAS, putting those things together, selling into the CAS customers we had, working with the product managers and product marketers that are really good at that stuff, and then putting it in our global scale organization. So that's what we did. So we took this idea, this small team in Milan that was building the digital merchandising system and had these professors and the algorithms and all the stuff. We merged them in with our consumer goods guys that were in CAS. They're out of Germany. We then found some clients where our clients were interested in that picture, so they wanted some automated planograms, they call them. We had this offering we were bringing out to the industry where we were helping to make that process efficient. We called it a business service called the Perfect Store. We threw our R&D money at it from the business case of CAS, put it into our global sales network, and started selling it. And we do just what you do. We find an individual client that's an innovator, and we do that really well. Then we find 2, then we 4, 10, and the thing is now taken off. And so those are the same people in CAS that were innovating before, continue to innovate with this clever bit of code we got from the digital merchandising system. So that's one example. Another one is, here's that human capital management business. So these guys had a nice little machine going. They would sell to HCM clients that ran SAP's HCM on-premise. And they had about 1,000 of them, 1,400 of them, something like that. But what we've started to notice is SAP is moving their business to the cloud, specifically, for example, through the HANA Cloud platform they've built. Secondly, they went on and they bought SuccessFactors. That brought another 3,500 SuccessFactors customers into the mix. So here's our product manager sitting that we hired from Picasso 10 years ago. These guys are all the same guys that joined us when we bought the company, thinking, my on-premise business is going to go away. How do I go? What am I going to do? What should I? And some interesting thinking. Should I stay with SAP? Should I go jump on the Workday bandwagon? Should I work with Oracle? Should I be independent? Do I have to be in the HANA Cloud? So what we worked out is a bunch of thought processes that said the right thing is to go do the following. So we'll take those entrepreneurs that we acquired with the Picasso business through our human capital management business. We've got a great partnership with SAP. So we threw our resources that know the HANA Cloud in with SAP's. We then found clients that wanted to leverage the SuccessFactors installation they already had. We added the money in from the business case that we built out to acquire the HANA Cloud, the HCM business, and then put that in that same distribution network. And now we're going back to the clients that we've got and new ones who want to move on-premise and go to the cloud and put the power of that whole thing together. And we're having some very good results as we take it on. So, wanted to leave some time for questions, but that's the background of what we do. So again, to reiterate the message, companies like Accenture are interested in meeting entrepreneurs that have software businesses in deep industry verticals that can help complement our consulting and industry practices. There's a great home for people that join our company and a great career path for you, should you choose to join. I look forward to get a chance to meet any of you here today, and maybe someday we'll all be working together on some innovative product within Accenture Software. So that's my story. Any comments or questions from the group? Can't see any hands? Okay. With that? Oh, there's one. Yes.
What's the rate of success of acquisitions?
Yeah, we actually are finding it's higher than, like the rest of the industry, growing a product from scratch is harder than buying an existing business. So far, all the acquisitions that we have are succeeding against the business cases that we've put together. The hard ones are starting from scratch, and because we got to go do what you got to do, find the first client and attract the team and prove that we got the requirements right. So it's more expensive, but we got a lot of risk behind us when we buy the businesses.
And I have another question. Do you have like an investment arm, like a venture capital, like a capital arm, Accenture Capital or something like that?
We no longer. We did 10 years ago, but it turns out that's not really our core competency to take those kinds of real entrepreneurial risks. So what we do now is it's really sponsored by our industry people. So, and the common route, you might be wondering, is somebody in India or Philippines in our consulting practice might start installing one of your products or meeting one of you, and that lines up with a new consulting offering that needs to be powered by software. And so we might do a project or two together, and then that sponsor would come back to someone like me, and then there's an investment committee we have that approves these and says, hey, I got this idea. If we could buy this company, we could run the table and have it be a world-class product on a global basis. But we're not in the VC biz. So. Yeah?
So my question is also similar. Do you have a formal process of collaboration or incubation? If I feel I have a product which matches with your ecosystem of offering, what's the next step? How do we collaborate?
The way to do that would be at a client if you're very small. For example, the businesses we're buying are typically at least 100 employees. At that, we're looking for the product and the market risk and the organizational risk to largely be behind us. So if you're quite small, the trick is it's hard to penetrate Accenture, because we're a matrix organization that's networked like 5 different ways. Everybody's got 5 bosses. But the way to do it is to find a client managing director or a senior manager at a client somewhere and see if you can help bring them a project to say, I'm working with client XYZ, and they need some help from somebody like Accenture. Can we work together to go make this happen? Because if you can make that client successful, you'll make this Accenture managing director successful, and then he's going to want to take you to his other clients. So that's probably the way to get started versus us buying 10 guys in the garage. That's probably not the right model. You'd get lost in our model, I think, at that point. So. Yes?
Maybe I missed it. Just to check, are there areas of priority for you? So which is more important, a cloud versus big data versus mobile? So what are the big areas of interest for Accenture?
Yes. There's 2 answers. Accenture overall is focused on, if you see our logos, we'll talk about strategy, technology, digital, and operations. The digital piece to us is really 3 big things. It is mobility, analytics, and also marketing automation, so interactive businesses. The 4th one is cloud. We have a whole team dedicated to putting up a cloud infrastructure and helping our clients get to the cloud. In our software business, our first job is we're getting all of our products from off of on-premise onto cloud and SaaS. Our second priority is mobility. Our third priority is analytics. And then one we're doing simultaneously actually is user experience. We think we can differentiate by having not just a pretty UI, but one that actually helps people do their jobs better. But that's the priority sequence we're doing in software now. Sure. Any others? Okay. Yes.
What are the
Preferred domains? Could you describe what you mean by a domain in this case? The verticals. Okay. For Accenture, there are 5 big ones. So I could answer for Accenture Software, the big ones, but the big ones are government and healthcare. We call it health and public service. Second, financial services, banking, insurance, capital markets. Third are products, which is automotive, industrial manufacturing, transportation, hospitality, life sciences for the pharmaceutical industry, that kind of thing. The 4th is communications, media, technology, so high-tech companies, media companies, telcos. And the 5th is resources, so stuff that comes out of the ground, basically, so chemicals, utilities, and natural resources. So there's about 17 big industries we go to market in. In our software business, we want to support all of them, but so far we support about 6 of those so far, 6 of the 17. So we're always looking to either tuck into the ones we have or expand to help the other industries add new businesses. That help? Anything else? If not, okay, thanks for your time. Up, one more. We do. We do. A couple ways. In my software business, we will typically partner by partnering with a software product to bring a whole product solution. So, for example, in that mortgage cadence business, it takes about 70 different data sources to process a mortgage fully. And we're a workflow engine primarily, not a data source. So to write a mortgage, we've got to go talk to a flood insurance company and a property insurance company and get an appraisal on the value of the property and do a credit check. There's about 70 of those interfaces and software vendors we talk to. So we partner to pre-build the interfaces to the leading vendors around our product. So when we sell, they sign up with you simultaneously, and we've got a whole product solution without us having to do all 70 of those interfaces. So that's the software business. And then our systems integrators, our consulting people, will absolutely want to build partnerships like I was describing here, so they can build deep skills in your software and then go become the preferred integrator and implementer out at clients. Those are the two main ones. We include BPO. Yes, we sell our software direct to clients or through our BPO arms and BPO contracts that we perform for clients, both ways. Is that one in the back, or is that someone brushing their hair? Brushing their hair, okay. He'd be dangerous at an auction. He'd own something by now if he did that. So. All
Thank
set?
you so much, Mr.
Okay,
Hiss,
thank
for
you.
this very invigorating talk. We'd like to present a small moment of thanks to you.
Well, thanks very much. So, it's a pleasure being here.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.